G'day, mate, and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included with me, Judy. In our last episode, we went and activated the brain, the lovely humming brain that is humming along mostly until it has a small oxygen problem. We hope to fix that. We also went and deco-bombed the base. It's now doing absolutely awesome, and of course, it's going to only get better as people come along and paint the paintings. We also updated the kitchen. We now have the finest, highest, bestest quality kitchen in the world, which hopefully means I don't have to do anything about it ever again. Also, it's now in a deep freeze state, which means, in theory, everything is frozen, or at least could be frozen before it leaves the kitchen. Today's episode, well, we also launched off Boss Jones that we're going to probably have to bring back sooner or later, because he's somewhat limited on food. But till then, he can stay off in space and do his thing. Today's episode, we need to come back to our puff branch. Our puff branch, well, the puffs sort of ignored the fact that there was meant to be a liquid lock stopping them going from one side, from the bottom half of the ranch to the top half of the ranch. I think I have a fix for that, but I don't actually know, so we need to find out about that today. We also, I want to move the atmosuit dock. I want to put all our industrial buildings actually inside the base rather than, well, the one left out in the open. Also, there's a tiny bit more digging we could be doing. I'd like to remove what we can from left-hand side of the map, and probably from the bottom of the map, and probably do a couple of other things. But before we do any of that, of course, we need to find out what the 3D printer has to offer. The answer is a whole lot of nothing. Okay. All right, let's start with, well, the dupes have got a sweep order. Let's start with the puff farm. So I am fairly sure, hopefully sure, enable auto bottle and copy. I hope we had a tiny bit of liquid, just 30 grams, and it just wasn't enough to keep the puffs on the right side of the walls. So I'm hoping that if I upgrade these tiles from what was originally an airflow tile to a full tile, and then I put a full tile here above, we'll get the liquid doing this thing that it does, where the meniscus goes and joins into two different things, and that sort of completes the loop, rather than between a couple of airflow tiles, it literally looks like a dot. A dot normally hovering in the middle, well, sitting on one surface or hovering in the middle of the air. That will probably do us. So, you know what? As long as the fluid's going up, I'm going to let it go. Priorities, 9s, please. We'll set you to sweep only. Yeah, and I'll set you to sweep only. That way, once you've done dropping liquid out, you'll be done. Our liquid lock can always be a bit more fuller. Why the hell not? We're back down to grams. Back down to 34 grams. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to work. I honestly don't know if this is going to work, but I want to try it at least. Now we have some chlorine in here. I'm going to pump more. No, I'm not worried about pumping more chlorine in. We're going to hook up these. We're going to try and get these guys running as fast as they can. And you're not being collected. Now, this room is not technically as stable, which I think is stopping the dupes. We go to here and we go errands. Low priority. Oh, hang on. Are you going to carry him out and bring him down? Because that'd be awesome. That would be absolutely awesome. All right, we now have a drop of liquid there. And yes, you can't get around. Excellent. Well, that was an easy fix. Deconstruct and mop. And we'll come back and get the walls later. Okay. Scalding. It's always Frogger and Eggphobia. 45 and 71. The fish are as close as you get, and they're at like, well, 50-ish. Everything else is behind an atmosuit dock, so I'm assuming you're just ignoring the door permissions. All right. Actually, there was one other thing I wanted to do, which was space. We worked out last episode that there does actually exist the space scanner. So let's throw 2 of those in. Let's also work out how we're going to get power, which is going to be probably from you. Yes. There to there to there and there. Yeah, that should do. Let's not do that, actually. That would be a very bad idea, JD. I was just thinking about running... Actually, no, you can't run power through a transformer backward. Okay, if I disconnect that, reconnect that, and reconnect that, that should keep our doors on the circuit they're on, which are all up and running. We might even... No, let's not put automation into them yet. Let's have the dupes come over here and put glass all the way across the top, just in case. We've put in a fair bit of solar, actually. And they can mop and they can sweep. Because all that regolith can be fed to our critters. Whole lot, please, dupes. All of it. Alright, I want to see... Oh, you are in. Okay, no power wire. Well, that's what they're working on right now. Hopefully they get that done reasonably quickly. There's no point mopping up. It's just going to fall again. Every single time we have a meteorite shower, the place gets a little bit damp with all the ice being melted by hot asteroids. I do want to mention Boss Jones. He is still busy. He's got 20 data banks so far, which is not a lot. But he's not using really enough power, so I technically don't need the battery. I probably don't need the manual generator either, which would free me up a couple of tiles. I don't know what I could do with it, but they'll be free. I actually could probably put a proper bedroom down there. In hindsight, yeah. No, I still need the power outlet somewhere. But his limitation is going to be food. In here we have grub fruit nut, which is going to go stale in 6%, so like 3 cycles. The grub fruit nut will go stale. Will he eat it first? Possibly. Also highly unlikely. All right. Hey, scan quality 30%, network quality 5%. Okay. So it's back to the age-old. We need to do something about having multiple of these guys spread out. Interplanetary payloads, don't care, and rocket, don't really care. And you're not changed. You have a little bit of automation. Yeah, okay. All right, we can come back to that problem. I want to then set up a small dig order. I think that's going to be the first order of business. Actually, no. First order of business is research. Don't worry, doing research. So we're doing the solid management, which is limited by our radioactive research, which is limited by rad bolts. Really? Yeah. Yeah, I know there's not a lot of radiation down here, but I wasn't expecting it to actually be limited by rad bolts. I don't even think I'm going to do anything about it. Because we could improve it. Like, we could improve it a little bit, but I don't think I'm even going to bother. Actually, what is... If I get impatient, it's 400 rads down there. And space is 100 rads per tile. And my only limitation being how much power I want to throw at the problem. I could put an awful lot of absorbers in. All right. I think what I want to do is I want to set up some dig orders. All of this can go. In fact, our old pump and everything can go. All of this can go. All of this can go. Everything around here can go. We can undermine all this. All this can go now. We probably sort of need the ancient specimen. Although technically I can demolish that for 2 tons worth of fossil. Not worth it. I'll prefer having unlimited fossil. Yeah. Also that can go. So I think... Oh. And we can deconstruct all of this. So yeah, look... And actually, this one's broken and has been fully replaced. So I can... Yep. All right. Give me a minute. Let me set up a deconstruction task or 2. And then we'll go from there. This seems to be the best spot to start. And as you guys might already notice, there's a certain amount of digging going on the left-hand side of the map. But down here, and well, this bit that's hanging out above. There's a certain amount of things going on. But we should talk about, some of the other plans. First off, I want that overlay. The puffs. The puffs were coming on and jumping onto this lane. Puff eggs and being dumped into, the fishy spot. The problem is puffs fly, which means if they get dropped in there, eventually they're going to hatch and they'll probably end up taking off and they're going to end up with puffs wandering around the base. Not ideal. Instead, they're going to go hard left. They're going to pop up here and then, well, go into our Patch Morpheus Center. Yes, which is buried beneath a door, which means they're not going to take off and fly around. Whilst we're here in the base, I have put a couple more grubs and sweetles into the farms to sort of... You are definitely in the wrong spot. Just put a couple more in the farms to help promote farm growth. Let me see. This, the whole old self-powered oxygen maker, it's going. We don't need it anymore. It's all marked for decon. More resources? Sure. We're also removing our old industrial area. Don't need that anymore. Haven't needed that for a long time, but it's now finally actually marked for decon. Our old steam room is sort of needed, but I sort of don't. We have one aqua tuner that's cooling the turbine that sort of runs occasionally. We also have the other aqua tuner that is cooling, well, the mushroom farms, which sort of need to stay, sort of doesn't. As you can see, there's decon tasks everywhere for like old plumbing, this whole old carbon skimmer. Lots of things have been marked for decon. I do need to do a double check because obviously I've missed some things here, there, and everywhere, and just make sure I've sort of marked everything. I am trying to keep the pinch of pepper nuts and lettuce. Everything else pretty much can go. Another major task going on at the same time is, well, down here I have, two geysers. I have the brine geyser, which as you can see has, 8 tiles? 7 tiles at 1,200 kilograms each. Also has the tiles on top, which are up to 800 kilos. I sort of need to get that pumped out a little bit faster. So we're going to start pumping that out along with this geyser, which has, well, again, 7 tiles at 1,100 kilos, plus a couple of tiles on top, 500 kilos. Which was also sharing the same line as the pump that's cleaning out all the fluid at the bottom. And as you can tell, with a giant dig order going on, clearing out all the stuff at the top, there's going to be lots of liquid falling to the bottom of the map. Yeah. So I've put in a second dedicated pipe, which is going to flow up through a lot of this old infrastructure. We're going to move the cooling pipe out of the way and then continue up to the top of the map. When it gets to the top of the map, it's going through a double priority thingamajiggy-bob. What was it? Somebody called it a ducting knot, a piping knot, something like that in the comments. I can't remember. But basically it's going to give me priority. So that means I can pull potentially 10 kilos off here, which is then going to replace this pipe from the right, which will dump into our cooling room. The other would 10 kilos, potentially 20 if this system is turned off, because it's going to have automation on it, will come over here and feed into, well, this water sieve desalinator combo. There's a possibility I need to set up a second one of these, because the most important thing is I'm actually using 20 kilos worth of clean water every second to do the oxygen, which is problematic because these tanks are not nearly as full as I'd like them to be. So that's an issue. Yes. We're going to try and rectify that. Main reason I'm pulling it from I'm putting the pipes up the left-hand side is currently, where are we? Currently it does pop up here. It goes to the right. We branch it off and it goes into our desalination system to run the one self-powered oxygen maker that's still running. Unfortunately, liquids. At some stage, some salt water got in here and burst some pipes. So this system is running with 2 electrolyzers running occasionally. Very, very occasionally. But more importantly, the water is also being branched over and fed into our farms, which I sort of want to keep running, you know? So I can't completely cut it off from going to the right yet, but this pipe that comes up here and goes all the way over here and then passes up through here and joins in with this one, which also has 1,100 kilos plus another 400 kilos, yep, and then also passes up our saltwater geyser, which has 1,000 kilos plus another, yep. I need to, make sure all the liquid gets up to the top cleanly and efficiently, and then work out how we can clean it and make sure we have a large enough buffer. Yeah. After we've worked out that problem, then I can sort of work out the other problems of you know, major large-scale plumbing and all sorts of things. So that's that. As for the rest of this, it's just a giant dig order. Really, really is a giant dig order. Lots of construction orders. We're basically ripping out everything we can. We are, like I said, you know, grub fruits, we're going to leave those. Pinch of peppers, we're going to leave those. Lettuce, we'll leave the lettuce. Apart from that, it's got to go. We just don't need any of it. And we're basically removing, well, this whole section's gone already and flowing down. Everything here that's not an ice biome is going as well. The ice biomes I'd like to leave and either, well, melt them if possible, or save them in case I need to come in here and grab some sleet wheat. Because if you go in and grab all the sleet wheat and you end up cooking the sleet wheat, well, you end up with no sleet wheat on the map. I think I want a sleet wheat farm, but we haven't got there yet. But I do know I need to leave the dupes to get on with it because there is a lot of tasks to do. And with the magic of video editing, it's all done. We've dug out everything. I have told the dupes very politely to sweep up everything, which is good because I want to move some of the external buildings internal. I want to start off with our exosuit forge, which has been on the outside of the base for I don't know how long, and bring it inside, whilst the dupes... Is that a... That's 10 million kilograms. Okay. Yeah, I want to bring the exosuit forge into the inside... inside of the base. Also want to prep for a couple of other things we're going to be doing. One of which is deconstruct buildings 1 level, 2 level, 3 level, 4 level. One of which is putting in some power transformers because I want to bring... Well, there's a whole lot of science buildings and other things I haven't built yet that I'd really like to bring inside the base. Yeah. We're going to start with the exosuit forge. Also, I want to... fence. Can I get normal? Yeah. Can I bring that to about here? And about here. I want to spread out this oxygen a little bit better. We've got one vent down here that is dumping oxygen and... Yeah, you can stay like that. We had one vent dumping oxygen here, which I need to remove because it's going to be in my way. All right, so there's a bunch of stations that I haven't built. One is, well, the exosuit forge, which we're about to bring inside. The next one is the botanical analyzer, which identifies new seed subspecies. So we're going to build one of those. Also, I should have built this a long time ago, but a textile loom out of steel, please. We're going to build one of those. Also, a clothing refashionator, again, out of steel. We'll build one of those. And there's the artifact analysis station, which turns out it's taller than everything else. We're going to put you there. Which means I need a floor, which we can probably organize, and I also need power. And this is why I've gone and rearranged a few things, because I want to put a power there, and we'll put in the other powers in a second. Also, dupes, can you dig your way in there and just mop that up really quickly? Oh, no, don't dig in there. Can I separate space from, well, the inside, because that's about to become the inside. Power transformer here and eventually in there. Can I go power overlay? We're going to want a power cable to run all the way through those. Yep. Also, I'm going to need some heavy watt cable to go into here and into here and into here. Alright, that's big task number one. No, I don't need another power transformer just yet. Alright, so I need to bring these inside, which means I need to, well, copy your settings and paste them to there. And then deconstruct that. I know you were halfway through repairing something, it's fine. You can go now repair it on the inside of the base. And remove all of that. We're just going to get rid of it entirely and make sure it's inside the base. Meanwhile, Boss Jones is still off in space. He's got about 2 cycles worth of food, roughly. And research-wise, well, with all the digging, we've managed to knock out both solid management, high-velocity transport, and pressurized forging with just the data chips, whatever we already had from analyzing geysers and different artifacts and that sort of stuff. Then there's the high velocity destruction, which is what we're working on now, which is the drill cone. I'd like a drill cone. need a few more things before I can have a drill cone. Can I 7? In fact, you know what? 7 everything, guys. Everything. Everything. Because those sweep orders are going to take you miles and miles and miles away from the base. All right. I want to put in one of those there, a new floor here. 4 tiles above that would be there. Yes, and there. Okay, and can I also start prepping up this to be a room? Cool. Alright, there's one other thing, actually, now I know all that, I can put in my power cables to here. One other thing in the stations that I haven't got a chance to play with yet is the geotuner. So the geotuner says increase the temperature and output of an analyzed geyser. Multiple geotuners can be directed at a single geyser anywhere on the asteroid, which sounds like a great idea to me. It also says that it needs a dedicated room of a laboratory, which, if I go check out the room overlays and go laboratory, it needs 2 science buildings plus a light source and no industrial machinery. So I'm going to pop in 2 of these because I need at least 2 of them to make it to make a whatever it's called, a laboratory. We can also dig out everything above there, and I'm going to keep things simple to start with, and we're going to call that a room. That is 36 tiles. That's all I need, so that should be a room. Also means I can now dig that out, and we can put a door here and a door here. Which is going to let that water fall to, well, down our gap of chutes where we can drop things from space and into this tile. Yeah. All right. I need a light. So can I get a furniture? We want a ceiling light, and I'm thinking. What am I thinking? I'm thinking there. I think. I'm thinking there. Now, obviously, I probably want this room to be bigger, especially as the tooltip says I can have multiple of these aimed at a single geyser, so we're probably going to want a few. As for you, I want 80 snazzy suits. 80 snazzy suits should be a great start. And as for this one, so snazzy suit, we've had these forever. They up the decor around a duplicate. And lions, perfect time. Lions. Lion's outfit is giving us a -5, which is not great. If we put him in a snazzy suit, it means he's going to actually give us 30 decor at all times, which is a nice bonus. Honestly, it's a really nice bonus to have. So we'd like to start off with that. Over to the clothing refashionator, we can take existing clothing, i.e. a snazzy suit, which already has a decor bonus of 30. Add 3 more reed fiber to it and another process, and then we can have a new item that has a decor bonus of 40. Which we're going to do. 5 and 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 more 5 and more 5 and more 5. And these are only decor. I really wish they had, like, you know, the spiffy overalls. If you put them on a Metatronics engineer or something, they had some sort of machinery bonus because, you know, pockets. I don't know. It would be a nice bonus. Other thing I've noticed is this. No, I need it to actually be active first. When it's active, oh, I missed the popcorn. Missed the popcorn there. Oh god, can't miss that. Actually, do we happen to have a new one? Print. No. Print. No. Print. No. Okay, no new clothes. We're just gonna make 5 of everything. Yeah. Now, as I was saying, this needs a errands wise. It's actually a decorator. A decorator is required to run. Dupes will not fabricate items unless recipes are queued. No. Does it say? Does it say? It doesn't say. It doesn't say. Okay. It's an artist job. So I'm gonna set to priority 6 because there's still a number of paintings that need to be painted, which the artists are still very busy doing. So we're gonna up the priority on this one so it comes above all the paintings. Okay. First off. Okay. Yes, we have a laboratory. All right. Secondly, if I hover over this cool steam vent, okay, so I increase the geyser's temperature and output. Required resource bleachstone, good to know. It's going to add 20 degrees Celsius to the output and also 912 grams per second. And it seems like the amount it adds is dependent on the geyser. Obviously, this saltwater geyser, that's a lot. That's a lot of an increase, like 2.5 kilograms per second. This one's only 1.5 kilograms per second. But I'm going to start with this one. And if I double click on it, it's going to say it's this one down here, which, yes, I have had the dupes come down and start digging out because like, we dug out everything else. We should obviously dig out this one as well. And dupes are down here in atmosphere, so it really doesn't matter. So I'm going to have them start on this. At the same time, I want to scroll right past where I was wanting to go. We're going to have both these geotuners do this. Now, I now know, because the game's told me, can I build that to there and just put a door here? That'll do. Actually, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Okay, deconstruct that. Alright. I need to... So, dupes come over, they flick the switch. It now says it needs bleachstones, which means I need to get bleachstone up here. Okay, we need to make sure that we get bleachstone up here. Bleachstone's going to off-gas chlorine, which I would prefer not to have. Best way to fix that is put the bleachstone underwater, which we need to look at how we're going to do. On top of that, we also probably need to look at the automation, but we'll get to the automation. First off, I want to have 2 of these rooms. So we're going to start with another room up above. We're also going to make sure it has power, like so. There. And I want to be a bit more careful with how I build my next room because, well, I'm going to want to build 2 rooms and modify them, so to speak. I want plumbing. I want a bottle emptier. I'd like a bottle emptier right here. So I can put a bit of water in a tile. Because if I can put a bit of water in a tile, then in theory, I can... Where's the door? If I can put a bit of water in a tile... Do I want to replace the floor? We'll replace the floor later, maybe. I can... Storage box. Can I get a storage box, please? Storage box right there. If I can put liquid, water, auto bottle, 9. If I can put some bleachstone in a storage box and then use some automation, assuming it doesn't break the whole no industrial machinery rule, and put that there, then in theory, I can have it auto-load the machines. On top of that, we need to have lights. So obviously, with the auto sweeper there, I'm going to have to put a light here and a light here. Also, this is where things are going to get interesting. I don't need to run the lights all the time. So we're going to put in 2 duplicate motion sensors, and I'm really hoping that if I do that, it still counts the laboratory even though the lights are off. Because, you know, they're on automation, so they only run if there's a duplicate in there. I'm hoping it works. Can I set you to 2,000 kilos? Consumable ore, bleachstone, 37? Alright, so we've got some water in here. That's step number 1. It says it's not a room because it has a light bulb, but the light bulb doesn't have power. So we need to give it a minute. And then next one would go there. And auto super would go here. Light would go here and here. Motion sensor would go here and here. Automation wire would go there and there. Power cable will go there and there. And you're now a room. Excellent. Excellent. We've learnt something. We've confirmed something. We're off to a good start. Okay. Can I remove both of those? Alright, so you still need bleachstone. Okay. Priority 7. Crank the priority on it. Yeah, and yep, we've got multiple people bringing over bleachstone. Alright. If I... Yeah, you should be done. Yep, that should be your second delivery. And storage box. Bottle emptier. Door. Geotuner. auto sweeper. Light, like I could just mirror from the floor above. Because obviously the floor above's happy so far. There to there. Copy settings to that one, and then turn that off and deconstruct it. Okay. Hey! So, compiling data. Compiling amplification data through experimentation. Okay, target is not erupting. So, this is one thing I noticed. Automation. We have two automations. One is the output. Sends a green signal when the geyser is erupting, otherwise sends a red signal. Okay. And then this one is green signal enables building, red signal disables building. Okay, cool. So, fairly simple automation. I like simple automation. Simple automation means I have a chance of keeping up with it. So, Rope is currently doing the experimentation by standing on the chair. Yeah. This is how I do experiments too. Stand on chairs often. And Frog has also come up to not scold himself for a change, but to stand on a chair. Yeah. And it just pauses halfway through the animation. It gives up entirely. Okay. Rope's back. Mateus is now taken over. Okay, I should really set up that. And that and that. And motion sensor, and light. And power cable. That works for me. Alright. Data remaining 100%. Okay, that's the part I'm looking for. So, it's going to run for 600 seconds. Now, it says right here that the target is not erupting. Because the target's not erupting, we're not using any of that data. So I need to have the ability for a dupe to come down here or go up to the machine and do the analysis thing and create the data. And the data's going to run for 600 seconds of eruption period. Okay, that's going to be an important thing. So as we can see down here, you were originally about 4.5 kilos. You're now up to 6.5 kilos, 150 degrees. Which is an awful lot of liquid. Yeah. It's also a lot of temperature. But because it's now 150 degrees, it means that I can run that straight into a steam turbine, because that requires 125 degrees steam, and you're at 150, and then we're good to go. It's just going to come out as clean water. It's not going to come out as, well, clean water that I'd have to either cool right the way down or heat the right the way up. It's perfect now. It's hot steam that I can get free power out of and turn into 95 degree water, which is great for me. I can do lots of things with 95 degree water, like run them in an oil well, which doesn't overheat till 1900 degrees, 2000 degrees. So, the catch is I need to make sure that the geotuners can stay active when they run out of that 600 seconds worth of data. So, you have an eruption period of 433 seconds. So after 433 seconds, I have 167 seconds left over before it's going to run out of data and need a dupe to come over and, do the experimentation, bang the buttons, do the things. So, what I want some automation. We're going to put in automation 1. We're going to say out of that one and into that one. Okay. Then I want a buffer gate. Okay, because I need to talk about one more number. Obviously, when it's dormant, I don't think... Do we want the dupes to come down here when it's dormant? I guess it's not going to use any data. What if it stays on the list of the things that dupes have to do? Whatever, we're going to set up the automation anyway. Alright, so after 433 out of 700, so it has another 10 seconds, 310 seconds in the eruption period where it's dormant. And what I want to do is I want to have some automation to make sure that whilst it's dormant, for that short period, it can still be tuned, but when it goes into the dormancy in 50 odd cycles, where it's dormant for 40 cycles, I don't want the building to be active. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in a buffer gate. 2 buffer gates. Buffer gate will continue outputting a green signal if the input is receiving a green signal. Continue setting a green signal for a amount of buffer time after the input receives a red signal. So we're going to get a signal out from this top one here. That's going to go red when it stops erupting. We're going to run that through a buffer gate to make sure that the green continues on even after this turns red and stays on for a certain amount of time, which we're then going to extend with a second buffer gate before feeding it back to the machine. Which should, so it's currently erupting, so it's green. And we have disabled by automation grid. Dupes. Dupes. Crap, I wasn't paying attention. We might want to remove that. Okay. Can I dig this out, please? Yeah, you can go too. I'll knock that out too. All right. Okay, so I have a nice little pattern here. I have four thingies. We want 5. In fact, I want more than 5. I want probably 10. Because the idea of getting free materials out of geotuning thingy-jiggy bobs sounds like a great idea to me. Can I build a roof in there, please? Can I build a geotuner here and there? And then put a notch in there. That bit can go. That can be built. And okay. No, automation. Okay. Buffer gate. Max you out. So for 200 seconds, I had to get to 310. You can stay active. And then for another 200 seconds, being 400 seconds, way over my 310, you can keep outputting a green signal, which is going to keep the building active. But when it goes to that long dormancy state, it won't affect me because the machine will get the whole building will get turned off until it comes out of dormancy, and then the building will get turned back on. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. There to there to there to there. Now some people might say this is redundant. It could be. It could be. But I'm hoping to cut down on task lists. Yeah. Can I go there to there to there, there to there to there, and back into my buffer gates? I need a buffer gate there, buffer gate there, buffer gate there, buffer gate there. Cool. All right. So that's that. All right. Dupes, I need things removed. All right. I need to put one of those there. I need these removed. I need things done, Dupes. I also need to continue this power wire for I don't know how long. And crap, if I'm copying this to here, you're in the way. Can I move you to, well, right there will work. Okay, can I knock out that bit? And, okay, can I put in plumbing? Bottle emptier here, and that there. Okay, very quick double check. You are 108 tiles, 104 tiles. So I can't continue this on and get in another geotuner, because another geotuner is another 20 tiles, which is too big. But if I'm copying from the floor above to the floor below, and we pretend that this is all floor, if I put in my doors here and here, I could then put another geotuner here. If I can put another geotuner here, and then put my auto sweeper slightly offset, so it can reach into this storage, which is technically for this, these two, then it will be able to reach the next geotuner, and then I should probably be able to get one more in, and then we can call that whole system complete. And I can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 geotuners, which should be plenty, because I have to say, obviously saltwater geysers, they're number 1 on my list, because we happen to have one here. You output saltwater at 95C. If I can get that up to 120, well, 95 would be 115, then it'd be 135. Probably 155, so probably 3 geotuners, maybe 4. then it's going to output salt water, which is instantly going to turn to steam and salt. And the salt's just going to land on the ground, which means I get some free power, a lot of free power. I like free power. Also means that I can now, rather than having to go through this business of having all the mixed fluids that we need to clean, I'm just going to know everything is going to be clean water. It's all going to be clean water at 95C because it's come out of a steam turbine, but I can work with that. I can definitely work with that. I can also work with people putting suits on. But it also means that I'm out of time. I'm out of time and I need, the dupes to clean up this mess. Because once they've cleaned up this mess, next episode we are going to be strapping some steam turbines down here and working out exactly how to get everything cleaned out. Also, we should probably bring Mr. Boss Jones home. Can you go there, please? Just before we absolutely run out of time and leave him in space, because he's got 800 calories left. Yeah. Boss! Boss? Boss! Hey! Perfect. Wonderful landing. And lots of cold carbon dioxide, because for some reason the exhaust that comes out the bottom down here is hot, but the actual carbon dioxide it kicks out is cold. Yeah, can we go in there? Can I mark this as grounded? And you have 215 data banks. I call that not bad. Not bad at all. He's done a very good job of, research. And the only limitation was water. We've still got plenty. CO2 is not really a problem. There's a little bit of polluted oxygen because, gases. Yeah, all our crap off-gassed a little bit. Most of our food went off, but because that was our actual issue. Can I... 3% is not enough. 16%? Yeah, we're going to have to tweak this to work out what percentage we want to make sure. He actually doesn't have to hold his breath for that long. Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, we're going to bring all that research inside, which means, we've got enough to finish off high velocity destruction easily. And also means by the time the next episode's done, I will definitely have a final plan all along here. And then we can start geotuning in a big way. Anyway, I need to leave this episode here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you in the very next video. All right, bye.